Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back. Guys, it is more Midnight at Madness, episode 10. Nope, more Midnight Madness. I always switch something, don't I?
Isn't
it's
it
episode 11, the one after 10, and we're here to break it down. I got the right jersey on. My man Brian is back. He is Stater_Niner. What's going on, B? How you doing, my man?
Good. We're at show Ayuk.
Yes, sir. Ayuk. Oh, you don't know what that's from because you didn't play that game.
What was that?
Oh my God! It was Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, no.
That was the game you didn't play. But see, I remember.
No, all I remember hearing was when we drafted him, everybody doing the whole goofy voice because he's like, oh, he does his little.
That's the goofy voice I know. I don't know a goofy voice, you know.
No, that's like a hill or whatever his little thing that he does when he's like.
Oh shit! Oh, I get it. I never heard that.
A lot of people said it sounded like he was saying Ayuk. But I don't get it. I understand where they're coming from, but it is what it is. Let's get this
I understand where they're coming from.
Or Twitter, whatever we got to do.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. All right, guys. So, as you know, when we start these shows, we don't do it the normal way, the prototypical way. Instead, what we try to do is where's today on Twitter or on Twitter today? It's not here. Oh, there it is. On Twitter today. Boom. There it is. There it is. All right, so we try to do this within 5 minutes. We're already a minute and a half, and that gives us 3.5 minutes left. Let's see if we can break it down, B. All right, so
show me what you got, Night Guard.
All right, boom. Joe Staley knows, not thinks, not believes. Joe Staley knows Nick Bosa is training incredibly hard and is ready to dominate again for the 49ers. This season. And then it says bit.ly. All right, I'm not going to read that part. But inside the article, Joe Staley, one of the things he says about Nick Bosa is, I've been talking to him this offseason. I know he's ready. Staley said of a Costa, what? Oh, said to a Costa Ruiz. I was about to say, what? He's been training incredibly hard. So he's going to be a huge piece for the Niners going forward. Brian, did you happen to catch this piece today on Twitter? And if so, you did. Go ahead.
I did. I didn't really pay attention to that part. I did see that. There was more to that. I don't know if it was the same interview, but there was more to the Joe Staley story when it was talking about Bosa, but he was also talking about in reference to Jimmy G and Lance and the competition being beneficial. Because competition breeds success, basically, is what the takeaway was. I don't remember exactly verbatim what he said, but that was basically the takeaway.
And that was between the quarterbacks, right?
Right.
So what we got clips of today was basically a full-fledged interview with Joe Staley, and then different sites decided to focus on whatever points they wanted to make it about, right? So what I posted was about Nick Bosa. What you're talking about and what you saw was about the quarterback situation.
Mm-hmm.
Did he say anything outside the norm that he should have said, considering he's not on the team anymore? Like, was there anything like right or article worthy in that?
I don't know that it was article worthy. I'm sure that our beat writers can find some way to spin anything anybody says into an article because that's their job. But I don't know that there was necessarily anything like we expect that Nick Bosa is going to be coming back and be a problem for other teams going forward. We expect that. So I didn't take anything from that statement, I guess, because it's like, well, that's my expectation. So that wasn't insightful to me. I mean, it's insightful in the fact that I believe when Joe Staley says something that's the truth. And if he's been in contact with Bosa, that, he knows for a fact because he's talked to him that he's been training. So to me, it just reinforces what we already think is happening. So I don't know that it's necessarily article worthy, but I'm sure somebody's going to write about it.
Yeah, that's how they are. So it's cool. Other than that, on Twitter today, we got 30 seconds left. Just give me really quick. The NFL approved the 2022 helmets. And in case people are just checking this because this is a shorter podcast, what are your thoughts on the helmet situation?
So
should the Niners wear the metallic or chrome gold one?
Yeah, I don't think the NFL will actually authorize them to wear this helmet, but if they were, as we discussed previously, that face mask needs to change. It's a little bit too, like it can be red or black or white, but yeah, it's a bit much on the gold for me.
And that's going to do it. If you guys want to hear a more in-depth conversation about that, make sure you guys go on over to Nothing But Niners podcast and look for the roster breakdown between the running backs and the tight ends. That's where we went into a deeper discussion on it there.
And you get a take from Tony there too.
That's right. They're great. That's
not that Tony.
All right. So, guys, it's time to get to your questions. Brian is going to be the man tonight. Let's break it down. Here we go.
All right. So Danny Albright sends us, during the 49ers drought of not making the playoffs from 2003 to 2010, what were you feeling?
The word I want to say starts with an H and rhymes with an orny. because I was fresh out of high school and just knew I was the man. I wasn't caring about football like that. I watched it and it was my squad, but a playoff drought is a playoff drought. I was a casual fan back then.
Okay.
What were you feeling?
Unfortunately, that specific window for me was a very intense time because I was doing the medical training for going to the submarine. And then I did my submarine tour, and then I went with the Marines and got deployed out into the jungle. And then my wife got cancer. So it was that whole thing. Like I wasn't into my brain was not involved with football during that span. I didn't really get back into football until probably 2012. Was probably when I first really got back into it. And that it had nothing to do with it was just my timeline of my career at that time. It was why. I mean, it was a lot of disappointment just because I still kept up with the team, but I wasn't heavily invested just because I had so many other things going on in my life at that time.
What's interesting about the timeline that you gave us is that, like you said, 2012, and with you being older than me, but I understand like you were kind of a victim of circumstances. If this question was just a year off, 2010 is when they brought in Singletary.
Mm-hmm.
And he became the head coach. And that's when I actually got locked in because I had always grew up to respect Mike Singletary.
Right.
So that's when I really, really got locked in and paid attention. He was an interim coach at the end of that season. And then the next year they made him the head coach. And he had Jimmy Ray as his offensive. It was a bad situation.
Right.
But that's when I became passionate about it. So we spent enough time on that. Let's keep it moving here.
Vernon Freeman, this one is to me. Brian, what is your favorite place in Hawaii to visit? Are you pro spam? And did you ever surf in Hawaii? So let me answer this in reverse order. I'm not a surfer. I don't know if you've seen many of these, but I think I've talked about myself a little bit. 5'8" and being over 200, depending on where I'm at, but between 200 and 240 pounds. Surfing is not my thing. I'm a diver. I'm a PADI master diver. I'd rather spend my time under the water than above it anyway. You got a question? Go.
Did you just give a weight range of 40 pounds, bro?
Yeah. Well, with my thyroid, it has been that way for, during the times I've been in Hawaii. It's just not, surfing is not a thing for me. Popping up real quick on a surfboard is not going to be beneficial. I'm like a buoy out there. I'm not something I'm going to be able to easily do. As far as spam, I've not like going to go out of my way to eat spam, but I've had I've been to Hawaii during Spam Jam. When I was a kid, we used to have it just because it was everywhere. And so I'm not against spam, but, and then my favorite place, I can't give you a favorite place in Hawaii. I know that the first time I was ever in Hawaii, one of my favorite memories was going to the international market, which no longer exists, unfortunately, because tourism is what it is. And so they replaced that place with high-end shopping. So that's gone now. They used to have like a fortune teller who was in the middle of this banyan tree. It was really cool to go in and just talk to her, just, even if you don't believe in that stuff, or even if you do, whatever. It was just a cool experience because it was like inside this big ass banyan tree. But I'd like spending, when we go now, I'd like spending my time at the Polynesian Culture Center or Dole Plantation, obviously at the beach, North Shore, a Wyland Gallery. I mean, I would go anywhere, and have, I can find a good time anywhere in Hawaii. And I spend most of my time in Oahu. I have been to Kauai, and those are the only two islands I've had the opportunity to go to this far.
Sounds good. I was stuck and focused on Spam Pam or Spam Mam.
Spam Jam. So they have a huge festival right in downtown, like downtown Honolulu. They shut down the streets, and it's just, both sides of the streets all the way down are nothing but tents and vendors, and they're selling all kinds of food, rice, like rice inside of a hollowed out pineapple. And so it looks like a boat that's full of rice and shrimp and stuff like that. And then Spam's everywhere, concerts and live music. It's fun, and it goes all night and all day through the weekend.
I think they asked you this question because I made it known I've never had Spam before in my life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a huge thing out there in Hawaii. They even serve Spam at McDonald's in Hawaii.
No comment. All right, it's on you, my man.
All right, moving on. Miss Debbie, she sends us some movies you're most looking forward to. Snake Eyes, 10 Rings, both are martial arts type movies, or The Suicide Squad. I'll let you go.
Snake Eyes, if that's not the Nicolas Cage movie with the word snake in it, then I don't know what it is. So the only one that I know on here is Suicide Squad because I was excited about that. So that's going to be my answer.
Okay. For me, it's due to the lack of movies over the last 16 months or whatever it's been, with the theaters closing down. I really haven't paid attention to new releases coming out. But if that Snake Eyes is related to the G.I. Joe series, and I think that it is, being that Snake Eyes, then I would definitely go watch that movie. My 14-year-old still likes G.I. Joe. He's got all my old stuff from when I was a kid. So if that's what that's about, that we would definitely go see that.
That's awesome. This next one I'll read because it's a question for you, the viewer/listener. Did you hit the like and subscribe button? That's from 49er Chanel.
Do it now.
If you didn't, that's right. Do it now. All right, Brian.
All right. Oh, Miss Debbie again. Did you guys buy anything during Amazon Prime days? Whoa, you all right there, Mike? Okay. Easy on that drumstick, man. I did not buy anything during Amazon days, Amazon Prime days. Just nothing out there I need right now, unfortunately, timing wise.
When was Amazon Prime Day?
I think it was 22nd and 21st, or 20th and 21st. Beginning of the week.
Nope. I did not.
Okay. And another one. All right. Miss Deb's all over this. If you could get an autographed jersey and be present for the signing, past or present player, who would you get?
All right. My answer, she didn't say it had to be a 49er. It's Reggie White. I always felt like Reggie White was somebody I wanted to meet. You ever know how how you can get a vibe from somebody without talking to them, like just walking and being in the same room with them? Like once you experience their presence,
right?
I always wanted to know what vibe I would get from Reggie White. I didn't have a preconceived one or anything like that. I just wanted to be in the room with him and be like, oh, that's what he feels like. Pause. But that's what I want.
Yeah, but would you really be getting a feeling for him? And I understand where you're going with that because I kind of had the same thought process. If I was going to go with the past player, I think I'd really like to sit down. If it was just a strict autographed jersey signing, then I'm going to go with something a staple like Rice. But if I got to talk to somebody, I would like to talk with Joe Staley. I think that when he and Bo did the Joe and Bo show and stuff like he just seems like a fun guy to be around, to talk to, hang out with. So if I had the opportunity to do that, I would. And as far as present players, I know it was an either or, but I would go actually with Tabor Pepper because I think that you'd actually get to have a conversation with him because I don't know how long the line would be to get an autographed signed jersey by, a jersey that's autographed by him. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of people there.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right, man. And if I had to just really quick stick with the 49ers players, I would want to sit and talk with Brian Young. Hopefully I can get words out this time. Last time I saw him, I just stood there and froze. So
you're like just in awe.
Yeah, that's got to be my answer. That's it.
All right, DJ Malone, favorite flavor, the extra use of milkshake. What would you guys consider to be the manliest movie of all time? And did you guys see the 3 new alternate helmets. Which one do you guys like, and for what reason? So I will go with, as far as Milkshake goes, I really, really enjoy like a malted milkshake, and it can be vanilla or chocolate, but if those are hard to find out here unless you go to a specialty place. So like the best place you're probably, I mean, not the best, but the only one right here in town where I live is really McDonald's. And so it's like, I ask for half and half. I get half chocolate, half vanilla, because that's the only way I can do it. But so that's the first question. Mike, you want to answer that one?
I hate milkshakes. I had a taste of one once and I never went back. But if I had to say I had to get one, it would be strawberry.
Yeah. Yeah. If I can get one that's like not made from, like it's a legit milkshake shop, then if I can get one that's blueberry or something like that, I'll do that too. But so what would you guys consider to be the manliest movie of all time?
I cannot remember seeing a single woman in Shawshank Redemption. So that's the movie I'm going with.
Well, I'm going to kind of play off of that, but in a different way. And this is just kind of gets to be funny, but Brokeback Mountain's pretty manly. It's man on man. So I don't know where you're going to go from there. But no, for real, manliest
Did you say
movie.
Brokeback Mountain?
that's man on man as it gets, man. But no, for real, I don't know. I'd have to go with, I don't know, probably like Conan the Barbarian or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it says manly in the title. I like that.
And then I did not see 3 alternate 49ers helmets, so I'm not sure. I can't answer 3 or 4 because I didn't see. I mean, I can answer 3. I did not see the 3 alternate helmets. If it's for the 49ers, I did see some other ones, but I mean, they weren't Niners helmets.
The only one that I saw was the one that we talked about at the beginning of the show, and we teased for the last show, and that was the gold one. I've seen the matte before. I don't know if that made its rounds today, though.
Right. No, I've seen that too. I just don't think that. I don't even know what we would use for an alternate helmet because I mean we've had basically. I mean I know they upgraded it, but it's basically been the same for 40 years. You know, other than our little trip down the mistake 49ers written out.
Yeah,
that we never actually wore. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Omar Valencia, since it's summer, what's the hottest it's been where y'all live this year? AZ has gone up to 118 degrees. So while California has been getting pummeled with a heat wave, we've been fairly good here in up here in Oregon. But this week has been hot, and I think it was 102 yesterday. So that's as hot as it's been so far. But for me, it's a little different because it's also at 4,500 feet. And when you're closer to the sun, you definitely feel it.
The hottest we got was low 90s. I mean, so like probably like 92 or so was the highest we got out here in Jersey. Well, Pennsylvania. Sorry, Pennsylvania.
Brendan Trejo, excluding Jimmy, what player on this team could be dealt at the trade deadline for capital or a piece for a championship run?
You guys kind of, I think we talked about this before. You guys kind of convinced me of it though. Raheem Mostert.
We talked about that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Raheem Mostert is going to be my answer other than Jimmy.
So I've got, so I think, and I talked about yesterday as well. So I just said that was a possible option depending on how things are going when Wilson comes back, and how things go with Trey through the, up until week 7 or whatever. Because if when I say Trey, I mean Sermon, the running back. Depending on how he's going, I mean, if he's going to step in and just replace, if he's taking snaps away from Mostert, basically it's we talked about it on the show, but it's about finding a place for him. So I think him and Richie James could both be potential trade candidates.
All right, Richie James is another good one. I'll take this one here. It says, when is Nick coming back to the podcast? Nick is not necessarily gone. He's just working. So he's much like Tony and how we've had, to work with Tony throughout the years whenever his schedule's available, they jump right on. So this one is not a hiatus for personal reasons or anything like that. It's just the work schedules are conflicting. Nick is doing 2 jobs, and one requires him to get off very late. The other one requires to wake up very early. So
right.
It's like if we did shows midday, you would see more of Nick on here, but unfortunately that's not what's happening right now.
Right.
But
I think if you had breaking news.
It gave me an idea though. Now I'm thinking maybe we could do something midday and like we can join in from the phones or something.
You're gonna have nothing but Niners nooner.
Yeah. All right, back to you, bro. Here we go. We got 10 minutes. Let's finish strong, baby.
Here comes Miss Debbie again. Patrick Willis or Dante Whitner? Who you got?
Patrick Willis.
I take Patrick Willis all day.
I love both of them, right? And it depends. Like she didn't say if she was asking about hits or whatever, but I gotta go with Patrick Willis. He is him and Justin Smith like define that era of the Harbaugh years for me. And Patrick Willis was good way before Harbaugh, so I don't want to make any mistakes about it. But
right,
damn, like what a 49er, what a 40. He should be a Hall of Famer with one of the shortest careers of someone who should make the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
All right, what we got next?
Oh, I thought you were gonna. My bad.
I said Willis.
Oh, okay.
All day. All right, so Omar Valencia is back with what's the most y'all would pay for a Kwon Alexander to come back, if you would even want him back? Yeah, I don't want Kwon Alexander back on this team. I mean, unless something catastrophic happens with our linebackers.
I think if you put Kwon in Aziz's place, it might be a slight upgrade just because the tackling responsibilities aren't as significant there. I don't know if that's not the Sam, it's the other side.
Right. That's Will.
Will.
I don't know if he can. I mean, I'm sure he can play the Will position. I just don't know that he's the best free agent that we could bring back to do that if we wanted to upgrade over Aziz.
Yeah. And as far as price, he's still going to demand a decent amount of money. I don't think I could go more than $2.5 million a year without incentives. You know,
to be fair, we gave that guy some money already for some time that he didn't play, so he could make it up as far as I'm concerned.
I like it, man. I like it. All right, let's keep it moving.
Diesel Elliott, Deebo or Sanu, who has more yards and touchdowns? Like has or will have this year? Because if it's a will have this year, I'm going to go with Deebo.
Yeah, and if it has, I'm going to go with Sanu.
Right, because he's had a longer career. So,
but I agree. I think he meant this year, but I don't even think it's a lock that Sanu makes the roster this year.
I would agree. It's not a lock. I do think he does, but I don't think it's a lock. He is one of my 4 bubble guys. If you watch the wide receiver breakdown that we did, I don't want to screw up your last name, Ted, but Ted LaCurin. Do you think Hufanga can beat out Tartt for his starting spot before the season is over? If yes or no, why?
Actually, this is a good question, and I should have thought about Tartt for trade bait if Hufanga improves and shows to be who the Niners hope he can be in year 1. Right. I should have thought about that as someone who could be on the trade market.
I don't know that he would have a market, though. That's the problem. He had an opportunity to be picked up and was not. That's why he's back here with the team.
Touche. But there could be other injuries and stuff around the league.
Sure.
But no, I don't think that Hufanga beats him out throughout the season. I think he might play, but it'll be due more to injury, not Tartt's
right.
being traded or anything like that.
And for me, and I'm glad that you said for his starting spot before the season is over, because I will answer with a caveat that because we don't know where D'Amico's going to take this defense, how much different it will be from what Sulla ran last year. So Hufanga might be able to surpass Tartt by the end of the season. I just don't think it starts out that way. I think in the depth chart, Tartt and Ward will be your starting safeties week 1, barring any injury in the offseason or in training camp. But I think by the end of the year, depending on what D'Amico does, I think it's very possible if Hufanga is able to transition like we think he should to the NFL, there's a definite possibility I think he could take Tartt's spot by the end of the year.
Have a little more to drink, babe.
Walter Galaviz. Galavis.
No more.
If you won $1 million, what would be the first thing that you spend it on, excluding paying bills, mortgage, or pay off a vehicle, etc.? What would you do to spoil yourself with? Or what? Sorry, what would you spoil yourself with? You're muted.
Oh, so wait, did you hear me putting my order in?
I wasn't listening because I was reading.
Okay. This is a really interesting question. I think if I won $1 million, the first thing I would spend it on, this is going to be so cheesy and so old man to me, but I'm putting all of it into renovating my house. And when I say all of it, not the million, but that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm coming up with a full plan of how I want the house to be reconstructed, and I'm going to come up with the separated garage and getting that all. I might have, if it was $1 million that I had, like that ups my expectations a lot more. I might actually run running water to the garage so that it's a little more livable, maybe a bathroom or something like that out there, or a half bathroom. And I'm just doing it all on my property.
You're happy enough with your current location that you wouldn't be looking to buy a new house somewhere else?
I mean,
or building your own home somewhere else?
Yeah. So when I discuss this with my wife, believe it or not, the answer is let's play this spot out with its full potential first before we decide to move, because we are in a very good neighborhood. There's a lot of children out here. The school system, the education itself is good. We just don't like the building of third grade to senior year. But as far as what my children are learning compared to the other schools in the area, it's very good. So I think we owe it to ourselves to see what this house could be. The only other thing that I would change about this house is I wish there was a little bit more property, because I like my privacy a little bit more than most people. I want to be close enough to socialize, but far enough away where I don't have to worry about neighbors saying, "Oh, his music was too loud," or "his dog is barking at night," type of thing.
For me, if this was the case, kind of a homer, I guess, because there's two things that I would spend money on. The first would be to be able to take my wife to some of the places I got to see while I was in the military, because I love to travel, but it's even more fun to take someone with that and share that experience. So we would do a world tour: New Zealand, Australia, Japan. Take the kids to see Okinawa, since that's where we met. All that kind of stuff. But then I would also probably try to buy, or I have no idea what it costs, so I'm just speculating, but I would try to get a suite for the Super Bowl with the NBA crew to watch the 49ers kill whomever they're playing.
Damn, now I feel bad for not thinking about something like that.
Well, it said you want to spoil yourself, so I'm like, that's really spoiling. I mean, that's definitely something I wouldn't spend money on if I didn't have, come into it in winning $1 million.
That's a good answer. Is the Rock of Gibraltar in New Zealand?
The Rock of Gibraltar? No.
Yeah.
The Straits of Gibraltar are as you're going into the Mediterranean Sea. So it's like Gibraltar is at the southern tip of Spain, right, and then you have Monaco on the top of Africa. And just where those two are, you have.
Oh, that's why you see the water around the edge of it in the pictures and everything. I got to go there. Okay.
I've been through there.
You've been there?
I've been through. Yeah, I've been in the Mediterranean. Through the Mediterranean, I've been in the Arctic. I've been in the.
No, but I mean the Rock of Gibraltar in particular.
Well, I mean, I did. Well, I passed it as we.
Okay. I thought you got to walk it. Like, do you know what it is?
Because it's so shallow in that area, you can't submerge the submarines. You have to actually come up and drive the boat on top of the water.
You're not supposed to tell this stuff. You said
that's not secret.
Oh, okay. All right. We're down to a final minute here. Let's try to finish strong.
All right, Mark Cisneros. I hope I pronounced that right. Would you rather Trey Lance have a Matt Ryan or Eli Manning career, top 10 QB, 1 MVP, no Super Bowl? What? They have Super Bowl wins. Anyway, whatever. Versus mediocre, no MVP, but 2 Super Bowl wins with San Francisco. Does Tony look like Kingpin from the new Spider-Man games? I don't know that reference because I haven't played the new Spider-Man games, so I can't answer that question.
I know who Kingpin is, and I can just imagine what he looks like in games. And I'm going to say yes for both of us here.
Okay. Obviously, Matt Ryan doesn't have a Super Bowl, but Eli Manning has 2 because he beat the Patriots on at least one to get them, right? If not 2, right? I'm just playing. But if you're giving me the option that he has a career like Eli and Matt Ryan, but no Super Bowl wins, I'll take him being mediocre with 2 Super Bowl wins. I'd rather.
What he was saying was either Matt Ryan with the MVP but no Super Bowl, or Eli Manning, no MVPs but 2 Super Bowls.
Oh,
okay. If that's the case, we're going to take the 2 Super Bowls.
Oh, every day. Because, while I do appreciate what players bring to the team, I am always a 49ers first. So if the team can get a Super Bowl win, that's the route I'm going. I don't care who's on the team to get us there.
And that's going to do it. If you guys are listening to this, I encourage you guys to go back and watch so you can see exactly who Kingpin from Spider-Man is. All right, that's going to do it for us here tonight. We are out of here. And I know we don't normally do this, but let's do it now, Brian. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always
remain faithful.
We're out of here.
Mahalo.